Well, hello there, fellow geeks and geekettes. Welcome to yet another video. But first, before I get to the point of today, I'd like to say that from now on you will be able to find most of my videos on BitChute as well, because YouTube's dead, right? BitChute is another platform for uploading videos, which is much more freedom of speech oriented platform, definitely much less leftist oriented and much more, well, friendly towards YouTubers like me. YouTube tends to prefer huge, almost corporate YouTubers who are making, well, a lot of money from their videos because they've got millions and millions of views, and people who are saying things that don't really suit Google and YouTube. The algorithms are really not nice towards people like me. So that is why I've decided to set up a BitChute channel, to which I will provide a link to the description down below. So do not forget to subscribe to my BitChute channel, and I will be also able to make some other different videos on BitChute that I wouldn't be able to make on YouTube otherwise. Now, to the topic of today. I've read an article and an interview with probably my favorite comic book author, and that's Alan Moore, the iconic Alan Moore, the wizard of the comic book industry, the man who wrote such iconic comic books, called classics as The Watchmen, V for Vendetta, Batman the Killing Joke, The League of the Extraordinary Gentlemen, Lost Girls, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and so on and so forth. We could continue for ages. But he is also very specific in many things, and I love him for that. Firstly, he has never abandoned his own personal values that he has always believed in. He is a man who rarely leaves his hometown of Northampton in Britain, and he is an old school leftist, I would say. He definitely is not a SJW, a social justice warrior, the modern kind of leftists that are all about inclusion and representation, and they suffer from these illusions that this or that group is being oppressed today. Of course, other than the white man, we are being oppressed, but other than that, in the modern civilized and developed world, nobody's being oppressed really. And the SJWs believe that. But Alan Moore, well, he is different. He's this old school lefty, which is quite romantic, and he's got this very specific view on adaptations of movie adaptations of comic books, which I do share. I don't even watch any comic book adaptations, like movie adaptations, other than Batman the Animated Series, because you can't bring anything to the table anymore that would be of any interest to me. You can't bring anything new, but you also, neither can you really make the movies so that they are faithful representations of the good old comics, because once again you have to fill the movies with SJW bullcrap, and what is more important is that I have always preferred the original source. So if something was a book first, I prefer the original material, I prefer the book. If something was a comic book first, I prefer the comic book. So as far as manga goes, that's the same thing. I will rather read manga than watch the anime adaptation of it. And that goes with everything. And Alan Moore is also very well known for, having been fucked over by DC Comics as far as the movie adaptations of his comic books go. You can Google all the details for yourself, but I'll read out a short extract of the article and the interview, and the rest you can read for yourself in the description down below. I will also provide a link. So, the article says, Alan Moore, superhero movies infantilized and blighted culture. Alan Moore rarely does interviews, but he's resurfaced for a new one, and it may not surprise you to learn the Watchmen creator, who has disowned some of his own work and largely disowned the adaptations of his graphic novels, doesn't really care for the boom period of superhero cinema we're currently in. Moore opened up to Deadline that he thinks superhero movies are a blatant and infantilizing influence on the culture. Most people equate comics with superhero. I can't do an impression of Alan Moore, so I'll just read it out in my own voice. Most people can't equate comics with superhero movies now, he said, which he finds troubling. That adds another layer of difficulty for me, he continued. I haven't seen a superhero movie since the first Tim Burton Batman film. They have blighted cinema and also blighted culture to a degree. Moore would then add, several years ago, I said I thought it was a really worrying sign that hundreds of thousands of adults were queuing up to see characters that were created 50 years ago to entertain 12-year-old boys. That seemed to speak to some kind of longing to escape from the complexities of the modern world and to go back to a nostalgic, remembered childhood. He continued further. That seemed dangerous. It was infantilizing the population. Moore then expressed his belief and la 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 and so on and so forth. So he basically is saying that well, I might continue actually what he said then. When I entered the comics industry, the big attraction was that this was a medium that was vulgar. It had been created to entertain working class people, particularly children, said Moore. Now, he says, they are marketed too much towards middle-class people. The way that the industry has changed, it's graphic novels now. It's entirely priced for an audience of middle-class people, he stated. He added, I have nothing against middle-class people, but it wasn't meant to be a medium for middle-aged hobbyists. It was meant to be a medium for people who haven't got much money. In his mind, what's wrong is people wanting to read comics, art made for children, as they always had, and still feel sophisticated. The form grew up, after all. But Moore feels they didn't make the inroads with adult comics that they would, instead causing readers to take the hero characters too seriously. They've become grotesque, in his view, as they got more adult. He sees Adam West's portrayal as a more faithful adaptation of a man dressed as a bat. Increasingly, I think, the best version of Batman was Adam West, which didn't take it at all seriously, said Moore. So, and so on and so forth. And then he continues that, people like Jack Kirby were buggered over by the comic book industry and so on and so forth. So, I do agree with the core of what Alan Moore says, but of course we differ in several points of view. This is mainly caused by, I wouldn't call it political views, political ideas, and political opinions. I would very simply say that our opinions about this differ in details. I do think that comic books are meant for everybody, both kids and adults. Already John Ronald Tolkien said that fairy stories or fairy tales were meant for not only for children, but for adults as well, and maybe even more for adults than for children, because it is adults that need to escape reality more than children. Children are to a certain extent able to live in their own world much more than many of the adults are. So that is what I think. I think that comic books, movies, they are for everybody. But what I do agree with, as far as Alan Moore's opinions go, is the importance of the original source, and that the modern world has been flooded with comic book adaptations or movie adaptations of comic books, and I do not watch them anymore. I don't enjoy them anymore, and they've got nothing in them that I would find intriguing, interesting, and I just don't, it's just not worth my time or my money. So that's it. I will always and forever love Alan Moore for both his writing skills and abilities and for his ideas and opinions. And I hope that, because he has retired, but I hope that, he continues writing here and there something, because I really do enjoy every single thing that he wrote. At the beginning of the video, I forgot to mention Swamp Thing, which is really what I think it was one of the first things, one of the first American comics that made him very famous. So that's the gist of it. I do agree with Alan Moore. What do you think, my friends? Do you agree with Alan Moore, or does your opinion differ in any way? Let me know in the comments down below. And do not forget to subscribe to both my YouTube channel if you want to, and my BitChute channel, to which I'll provide a link in the description down below. And I hope I'll manage to upload the videos there, because I've had some problems with uploading some videos to BitChute. So let's hope things will work out. Well, that would be all. See you soon. Bye.